This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, how I recruited over 30 people in 30 days. I'll put a warning out. This is not recommended and it's not normal, but I am going to share with you how it happened. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jeff Gamble. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. Have a background in traditional business. We own a real estate company. We own a holistic health company. Also, I've been in affiliate marketing and network marketing, and I'm a speaker, trainer, and coach. So let's get into this. If you've been depressed, discouraged, frustrating, and or mad that you're not getting the results you want, you're not getting to where you want to go, and you really want to build this business, what I can tell you is I know exactly how you feel. I have felt this way before. And what I'm going to share with you is what I found that made the change, that made the breakthrough, that made the leap, that turned everything around, and we were able to build at lightning speed. So let's get right into this. The very first thing that I can tell you if you want to recruit this many people is that it's possible. I know that sounds cliche and, it sounds like a Tony Robbins speech, but it's true. The fact that it's possible. If somebody's recruited 30 people in 30 days, it is possible that you could recruit 30 people in 30 days. Now, it's abnormal. I wouldn't even advise it for most people. Why? Because it's so much work. It takes so much effort. But for those of you who are wanting to make that change, for those of you who are wanting to get ahead, for those of you who are wanting, the pain and pressure of doing it, I want to share with you exactly what it takes to do it. But the first thing you have to make a decision and believe is that it's possible. The second thing is, why not me? It's one thing that something's possible. It's another thing to say, why not me? Why can't I do this? Right. And that's a little deeper. You might have to dig in a little bit and say, why not me? Why am I not worthy? Why can I not have this success? And you're going to have to deal with that. That's a psychological thing that for some of us takes years. It took me years to have that breakthrough of, yeah, it's possible that other people could do it, but why not me? Why can't I do this? Why can't I make a mark? Why can't I explode? And that's a totally different thing. I mean, you might need a coach, counseling, psychotherapy. And I'm not joking. Like, I know I'm talking, crazy, but like, that's a real thing. Some people do need to go get some serious help to figure that one out. But once you figure it out and you know it's possible and you know that you're worthy of doing it, then you move on to the next stage. Which is, what the hell is the plan? I mean, it's going to take a plan, right? How are you going to do this? Like, what is your schedule? What is the time frame? Who are you going to go talk to? Now, here's how I did it. I realized when I worked with a gentleman, huge leader inside of network marketing. We're not going to name names here, but it was a huge leader inside of network marketing. He said, look, Jeff, if you want to go fast and you want to build really big, really quickly, he goes, there's two kinds of people you can recruit. You can recruit civilians or you can recruit soldiers. I was like, what? He goes, think about it. He goes, are there people who are already in direct sales and network marketing? I'm like, yeah, of course. He goes, so do they already believe in the industry? I was like, well, yeah, if they're already in, they believe in the industry. He goes, do they already believe in the process? Do they already know what's going on? I'm like, yeah. He goes, who would you rather have? Somebody brand new who doesn't know shit about anything? Or would you rather have a network marketer who's already involved? And I was like, oh, God, that makes a lot of sense. He goes, so what you're going to want to do is find people who are already involved in something who aren't having any success in most cases, or they don't have an upline, or they're complaining online, or they're having issues. And you just want to ask them a simple question. I'm not trying to get you to change companies and change, and do all that. But what I want to know is, are you open? Are you open to hearing about something that's taking off if it doesn't conflict with what you currently do? And he goes, look, if somebody says, no, I'm cool, I love what I'm doing, he goes, last conversation I'm having with them. But if they open that door, I'm coming through. I was like, okay, that totally makes sense. I said, that's fair, right? Because if you worked for Apple, for instance, if you were at Apple and Microsoft came in and said, hey, we have an offer for you to make twice as much money, and you're like, I'm good. Like, I love the people. I don't care if it's twice as much money. I love what I'm doing. I'm good at where I'm at. then the conversation's over. But if they're like, okay, I'll listen, humor me, as Microsoft, it is your job to sell the crap out of coming over. Like, that's because you're getting somebody who's already trained. Does that make sense? So what is your plan? What are you going to do? And when I learned, part of the plan is talking to people who kind of get it, talking to people who have already signed up in the past, talking to people who've been in. Aaron Rashkin knows this for sure. What's up, sir? It just makes sense, right? You're talking to people who have already been in. And those people make decisions faster, usually, if the opportunity is right. So, number one, is it possible? Number two, why not me? Number three, what is your plan? Do you have a plan to do it? Number four, why you, why this, and why right now? You are going to have to provide the people you're talking to the answers to those questions. Why should you do this? Why this specifically should you do? And why should you do it right now? Because just saying, hey, we've got a great product. Okay, that's cool. Hey, we've got a great opportunity. That's cool. There's thousands of great products. There's thousands of great companies. Thousands. There's thousands of great comp plans. There's thousands of great training systems. There's thousands. That's great that they're awesome, but why should you join this? Why should you sign up in this? Why should you do this now? Right now. What is the reason? If you don't know this stuff, then you're going to have to come up with it. And, the best way to come up with it is work with somebody who knows it, right? Somebody who's recruiting a lot of people really fast usually knows why you should do this, why you should do this right now, and why you should join them. They know that. And they're going to provide that answer to every single person they talk to, whether sometimes it's very direct and sometimes it's kind of indirect. But either way, they answer these questions. So you're going to have to come up with that. Number five, this might sound crazy, but typically it's going to be 80% emotional and about 20% logical. What do I mean by that? 80% of it is the dream of putting something together, and 20% is the structure and logic of how it's going to go together. And I'm going to give you guys an example here in a minute of what I actually was saying to people, because it is important. What was I saying to people that made them kind of say, okay, I'm ready to go. Where do I sign? How do I get in? And that brings us to the sixth reason of how to do this and how to recruit so many people so fast is basically I sold placement and potential over product and comp plan. Okay, what does that mean? It sounded something like this. It was like, hey, I need a huge favor. I want to tell you something I'm working on. And most people were like, okay, cool. What are you working on? I said, look, I've looked at a bunch of companies. We've been researching for a while what we're going to go do. And, Brandy and I have landed on something we're going to go do. And not only have we landed on what we're going to do, but we already have one large six-figure income, almost multiple six-figure income at this point. So we have that down. And what we're doing is we're going to build another multiple six-figure income. We found out where we're going to go. We found out the product. We found out the company. And we have a plan of how we're going to do it. So the reason I want to tell you about it is so if you run into the right person, you can refer us. And then I went into the company, the need. I went into the product that we provide. I went into this, how it works. I went into a little bit of the compensation. And then I talked to them about the timing. I said, look, here's what we're doing. This is how this company sets up. And what we're doing is we're building 4 organizations 100 levels deep. 4 organizations 100 levels deep. Let me draw it out for you. And I drew it out. I was like, this is corporate, and this is the team and information. And this, it's not an Amway presentation, but it basically, it looked like an Amway presentation, let's put it that way. And I said, look, this is me. And I'm gonna bring in 4 frontline people, and I'm gonna stack everybody underneath these 4 people. Everybody's going under these 4 people until I get 100 levels deep. So if you get in right here at Oceanfront Property, what is more valuable, Oceanfront Property and making a decision right now, or me getting back to you 6 weeks or 6 months later and you're 25, 50, or 90 levels deep which position's more valuable? Position number 1, position number 20, or position number 90? And every person says, well, obviously the first position. Okay, so I'm coming to you asking you, do you want one of these first 4 positions? And basically the first 4 or 5 people that I talked to were like, yes, 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 yes. Okay, great. Then I went to the next 10 people that I talked to. Now I was roughly talking to 6 to 10 people a day doing exactly what I'm telling you. I was still working. A lot of people think, oh, well, Jeff, of course you could do this because you were just sitting around all day and twiddling your thumbs. No, I was still running my other business. I was doing this in between. You know, I was texting people in between appointments. And then when I had time off in the evening, I was having these conversations with people. And I was like, literally, I'm just going to read to you what we're doing. It was important, the beginning, hey, do me a favor. It was important, the end, but the middle was exactly the same every time because it was a pre-written presentation that went over the company, it went over the need, it went over the product, it went over the compensation, and it went over the timing. And then I added, here's the placement and here's the potential of what's going on. Now, let me ask you and I don't remember, the price was I think it was $100 to get started doing this, and it was $30 a month, right? And I was like, look, does it make sense, knowing that we've built before, knowing that we've made money doing this before, does it make sense to spend $100 to place yourself in a position where we're going to do the work and bring in this huge organization underneath you? And if you decide to do something, great. And if you don't decide to do something, great. At least you have this as a backup plan. And we just rolled through person after person after person. I mean, think about it. If you're talking to 6 to 10 people a day, guys, I worked every day. Every day. A lot of people are like, well, you have to understand, I need my weekends off. When you're broke, you don't need your weekends off. I'm sorry. You know, you need time to go spend with your family. Don't get me wrong. Like if Sunday you need to spend time with your family, if Friday night you need to go see a movie to keep your marriage together and stuff like that, I totally get that. Spend time with your kids. Kids need time with family. But every other moment, I wasn't watching Netflix. I wasn't chilling. I wasn't playing video games. I was talking to another person. And I was talking to people up until probably 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. I know that sounds nuts to some people. But to the people who make 6 figures and multiple 6 figures and even 7 figures, that sounds perfectly normal because that's how it happens. That's how it happens. So that's what I did. Is it possible? Is it possible? Number 1. Second, why not me? Third, you need a plan, right? You got to have a plan. Fourth, you have to be able to answer those 3 questions, right? 5, again, was 80% emotional, 20% logical. So you have to bring a presence with you to get people to make guys, you can sponsor people and not have that energy, but the sponsoring rate is slower when the energy is lower. God, that should be a quote, right? I'm going to write that down. The sponsoring level is lower when the energy level is lower. That's absolutely true. And if the energy level is high, the sponsoring rate goes up. That's how it works. So that, I mean, obviously there's more to it than that. Of course. What was the schedule like? How did you close? Where did the people come from? All of those questions, right? I'm going to give a suggestion. If you want to get into a position where you can do that, where you can recruit, maybe it's 10 people in a month, maybe it's 20 people in a month, maybe you want to go for 30 plus, I don't know. If you want to do that, I'm going to make a suggestion. Join our community. Go to joinmyleadershipnetwork.com, fill out, watch the video, and if you want information on who we are and what we do. But if you want to go straight, join our community, join our Facebook page, have conversations, ask questions, click the join now button, fill out a profile. You do not have to buy anything to come into the community and talk with us. And we're going to talk about leadership. We're going to talk about what it takes. We're going to show you what we do, right? I'm going to tell you that up front. We're going to show you what we do. And it's up to you, however you want to participate. So I appreciate everybody for watching. Hope you guys gained something from this. And like always, the best trained team wins. So let's lock arms and fight for our dreams. Thank you.